Hello, I'm Coach Mike Robertson. You're watching Average Joe's Sports Talk. I'm Mike Robertson, head coach of the Hokes Bluff Eagles football.
All right, Coach. First of all, it's an honor for you to get us out here in this beautiful stadium of yours. We've always wanted to interview you. We finally get our chance, and we want to thank you for that. Coach, tell all of us that's watching this video just how you got into your coaching career and how you ended up here at Hokes Bluff specifically.
Well, it probably started way back. You know, I had a dad and mom that were both athletic, and two brothers, and you know, we had a ball in our hand always, and just coming up through. But when I got to the 7th grade, a guy named Danny Payne that coached here at Hokes Bluff at the practice field over there is named after Danny. Had me in the 7th grade, and by the 8th grade year, he was telling me, he said, you know, Mike, you're going to be a coach one day. I can just tell the way you play and the way you lead. And you know, I looked at myself, kind of thought, well, I guess I am, and I never changed my mind. So I at an early age, I had a lot of great leaders ahead of me, you know, with them guys, my parents, Coach Payne, and other coaches. So I guess it just inbred in me.
And obviously, you being from here is what led you back to here, correct?
It did. You know, I came out of college, and I didn't really want to come back to Hokes Bluff early. Sometimes that's not a positive thing, but I went 3 years at Southside High School here in the county under Coach Randy Ross, who coached at Alabama. I was lucky to get a job there and coach with him 3 years, and then Coach Payne called from Hokes Bluff and said, hey, you want to come be offensive coordinator at your old school? And I said, yes, sir. And I didn't really want to leave Southside much as I wanted to come back to Hokes Bluff.
Oh, that's beautiful. Kind of ending off that right there, is there ever been a point in your career where you thought there's something else you could do, like another kind of career, or did you just know from the get it was coaching?
No, I'm really not smart enough probably to do that. You know, I'm a math major actually and PE minor, as the old saying goes, in college. But you know, I had some opportunities probably in the math field to make more money, but you know, I felt like I made enough money to make a living, support my family, and I just like competition of sports. And you know, there's a lot of rewards. As I've gotten older, the rewards have been even more special, watching kids come back, become adults, become family guys, and saying thanks, Coach, for being a part of my life. So the rewards have been a lot more important than going on to something with more money.
That's beautiful. When you first got to Hokes Bluff and took over as head coach, that's a two-part question here. Did you ever envision the success you've had over your career to this point? That's the first part. And second part, can you talk about those early days and the foundation you set for what we know as Hokes Bluff football today? Yeah,
well, you know, you never know what you're going to do. I remember my first year, of course, I'd been under Coach H.K. Cootie Reeves as a player. Coach Danny Payne was there, and Danny then took over, and of course Coach Ross. So I had some great mentors. So I give all them guys credit. So you just try to take from all of them what you think worked and didn't work, and then you just have to be yourself. And that was one thing Coach Payne always said, just be yourself. And so I just took my style. I'm a little bit of a player's coach. I don't think I'm tough enough sometimes, but all that in general, I didn't know the success. I obviously winning the state championship in 2001 to kind of set my career off. It took 4 years to get to that point. Feel so lucky that happened, but we've been pretty consistent. I think that's the thing. If you ask me about my career and what we've done, I've been really more proud of the career thing as far as the consistency of my career, not so much just winning that one state championship.
And speaking of your career, it's something we've noticed, and I grew up in this area, and I watched many of your teams play, and I battled against some of them. There's always something you say about Hokes Bluff. They're tough. And when we got through playing you guys, we'd have to go take ice baths. You guys, you've instilled a physical brand of football, an old school, if you will, football. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, I guess that goes back to Coach Reeves. When I played high school, Coach Reeves had played for the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm going to tell you, anybody that played for Coach Reeves has that mentality. And I was just a little old quarterback, but I still had to every tackle and drill. And so I like being physical. I'm not a physical person myself, but obviously I like to see football played that way. I respect teams that play that way. I've had a tough time trying to change all this spread. It seems more like basketball, but
yeah.
We have been physical. I appreciate the compliments. But that goes back, like I said, Coach Reeves and Coach Payne. They both were tough coaches, and I've been around. Coach Ross was a tough coach at Southside, so I guess it's just inbred in me there that all those guys. And I really like to hit somebody in the mouth as a coach, and run those ISOs up in the middle, and just when you got good players too, you can do that. So I've been forced to have physical players.
Well, let me tell you from a fan's perspective, it's a breath of fresh air to see what you guys do here.
Well, I mean, a lot of people, will tell me they like coming to our games because a lot of people want to see you throw it all over the field. And Coach Bryant, Coach Bear Bryant said there's 3 things happen on a pass play and 2 of them's bad. I guess that's still the case.
That's true. Over the years, is there a particular coach that you faced that you had a lot of respect for, and you knew yourself, somebody in particular, you looked on that schedule and you knew that guy was coming up that week that you really had to dial in to beat?
My early days, I tell the story, of course, Coach Todd Ginn's over there, but Larry Ginn, guys. Coach Ginn, he was older and I was younger, and I was fortunate we beat him one time. The other times we were not fortunate, but I was so proud of that win. I still talk about that win. Coach Jake Ball, my son-in-law now, the year after the state championship, we went over and beat him in overtime, 21-14. We led them 14-0 the whole game, but Coach Ginn, there's been many coaches that I respect that we played against. Coach Pruitt, Jeremy Pruitt's dad, that was at Plainview always. We only played them twice, but both times I just left the game and left watching film going, that guy, everything's perfect. Their teams play perfect. They don't always win. But Coach Ginn is still the smartest coach that I've ever coached against. He did things to us, and we didn't play him a bunch, but we played him enough, and I figured out real quick, you better not do something wrong because he'll take advantage of it. Yes, sir.
I want to talk about some of your teams. I want to talk about a team that maybe not get mentioned, not a state title team per se. What is a team that you've coached over the years that gave everything they had, they overachieved, laid it all on the line? Is there anybody that sticks out?
The 2 years after we won the state championship, Coach Jake had graduated. We lost a lot of good players. Well, that next year, we went to the semifinals. We got beat by Winfield 7-6 in the semifinals. And a great game. We actually missed the extra point that we all still feel that was good, and we got it to overtime. But that team that year just overachieved. We had a new quarterback and went all the way to the semifinal. And that team was just special. There's something about it. We didn't have a lot of depth. We stayed healthy. But that team was pretty special. But these last 3 years have been pretty special too, because we went through 4 years of not winning. A lot of people thought it should be the end of what we've been doing, and luckily I had a administration that stuck with me, and we finally got probably some breaks on the schedule, plus some breaks with some players, and as things went. So these last 3 years, all 3 teams are pretty special. We went over to Haleyville 3 years ago and went over there, and we were 6-4, and they were 9-1, ranked second in the state, and we upset them at Haleyville, and that just made that year. And then we went on, won some, a couple more games. But there have been so many. I hate to compare because, hurt somebody's feelings, but all of my teams, even the years we didn't win, a lot of games, we had pretty good teams. I've never had just a terrible team, and I mean that when they talk about our players. They were all competitive. The year we went 1-9 twice. we were in games that year. You know, we almost beat an Anniston team we shouldn't have been on the field with, and just things like, you know, little things like that. That just brings back good memories for me. But just winning games is not always what a good team's about. I know that's what fans judge you by, but those teams were competitive and had to go through a lot of adversity. So I have great feelings for those teams that didn't win a lot of games. So, but I can say I finished every year, and the way I judge a year, do you want the season to be over? You know, sometimes coaches tell me, well, I'm so glad the season's over. I can honestly say in 23 years, I never ended a season where I said, gosh, I'm glad it's over. You know, just I'm tired of it. All my players have always given it all they've got, even those bad years, record-wise.
Only record-wise.
Yes, sir.
That's a testament to your coaching, Coach. Is there a win over the years that sticks out above all the rest? I mean, obviously the state title.
I get asked that question a lot. I don't know. You know, every time we were at North Jackson last year and won up there.
We were there.
And you know, a lot of people say, and I'll go, it's top 10. Because I'm going to tell you, I've been so fortunate. I remember those early years when, you know, first year we went 2-8. I had a bunch of 9th and 10th graders, and 2 years later we're in the playoffs. But, you know, obviously the state championship year, that year I talked about, 2 years I had state championship. We beat some good teams. But the last couple of years we've had some big wins. Like North Jackson, but, you know, it seems like every year I catch myself going, man, that win there is just might be top 5 or 10. I've been saying that about 20, 30 times. I better quit saying that. But obviously state championship. Colbert County, I don't know if y'all know that game.
Was that the Hail Mary?
Well, basically, yeah,
yes,
Jake
sir.
scrambled around and won that game, and wouldn't, you know, they were really good.
Yes, sir.
Of course, the week before we beat a Sheffield team, was 13-0, whatever, and we had to play Litchfield that year. I mean, we beat about 5 teams that year, could have won a state championship.
Absolutely.
But it's no, there's not one. Answer your question, there's not one.
Let's flip it around. On that same note, is there been a gut wrenching loss that was really hard to get away
probably
from?
2 years ago here against Madison Academy.
I got you.
Yeah, really. Truthfully speaking, we had them at home, chance to go to the finals, and I didn't do a very good job that night. We just, you know, and then last year getting beat by Dessler, a lot of people think that was disappointing. That doesn't hurt as bad as Madison Academy, because last year, you know, Dessler was a lot better than people thought, and obviously they got beat in the finals. But there's been a lot of gut wrenching, you know, getting beat by your rivals sometimes. But you know, I've been fortunate. I always look at games, you know, did I do a good job preparing the team? And I'm boasting here for the first time probably in a long time, but I really feel like most of the time my teams have been ready to play.
Absolutely.
I try to make that, and then the players win games. So I've never won a game. I get them in position to win. Our coaches, I've had great staff, by the way. I don't know if you're going to ask me about our staff, but I've just had coaches stay with me the whole time. But I just want to, you know, look back, how many times did I not have the team prepared to play? And I don't know there have been many times I can say I just flat out messed that up. Madison Academy, though, bothers me. I think we had the talent to win that night, and I didn't get it done some way. You know, I think we should have won there late, but give them credit too, though. They beat us.
Coach, how does a successful coach like yourself, that obviously puts a lot of time, a lot of effort, how do you maintain that work-life balance with your family and make it, you know, where you're not, you know, shortcomings on either side?
Great question. And I had a couple of other coaches that meant a lot to me. John Serafini was coach here basketball and principal at Southside, and Etowah. He's always told me I've lasted this long and maintained because I try to keep a pretty even keel. I tell the players that, you know, we're going to practice hard after Southside game, first game, win or lose. We're going to practice pretty much the same. Now, if we look real bad, we might do a little extra, but we're going I like being consistent. I say that in my life, but I've got a great wife. She grew up in an athletic family. We have raised 2 kids. All of my family, my brother coached at Glencoe, my younger brother is the best athlete in the family. So I've been around sports knowing that I guess you just keep it balanced in that it's a sport. And when you lose, it better hurt. You know, Coach Saban says the same thing that I think sometimes, and I agree with, not that I should agree with him, he knows. But, you know, I really coach sometimes not to get beat because I don't want that feeling that it is to win. I told the players today, believe it or not, I said, guys, I'm thinking about the Southside game already because I don't want to have that bad feeling in my gut, and I hope you guys think ahead about the bad feelings you have when you lose. But I've kept it balanced. I have, but I got a great wife. I've had a good staff too. You know, my coaches. I allow them to coach. You see out there right
Absolutely.
now, I let them coach. I do, and that's one thing I did my first year. And I'd been where I'd seen the other ways where 1-2 guys do all the coaching. But when I took over, I told Coach Ball and Coach Noah and Coach Watkins, I said, you guys are going to coach. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm gonna help you coach. But you're going to coach. I think that makes it more fun for them. But I appreciate the question of the balance of my life. I just try to take it as a sport. It is a job. And then having the good players that understand that. You got to get to the players.
When people watch this video, what's something that that Mike Robertson, not necessarily Coach Robertson, that the average fan wouldn't know about you? Something you do away from coaching that might shock somebody?
I'm a big NASCAR fan.
There
I
we
don't
go.
know if that matters.
That's what we're looking for.
I went to Bristol this last week. I
Oh,
don't know when
yes.
this is going to run, but I went to Bristol and tried in at 3 o'clock in the morning with the mayor of Hokes Bluff and my son and another coach. But I don't know. I love Braves baseball. I'm a sports guy. But I guess the biggest thing is I'm pretty emotional when I talk about things like this. I am. I don't mind to shed a tear for a player.
Absolutely.
But now that I've gotten older, and Coach Payne told me this, when you get older, you've coached a lot of kids, you're going to enjoy the kids coming back and seeing you. And that's the case now.
Absolutely.
So that's something I think some people don't know, that I really care about that now.
Now, when you were coming up, who's the biggest influence? Is there a coach or a family member, somebody you looked up to as like, man, if I could do like this guy, I'll have it going
Yeah,
for me?
well, my parents, obviously. Dad was tough on me and my brothers, and my mother was always there. Dad worked at Goodyear Tire Plant, but mother, we had my two brothers. They were always chasing ball games with us, and then all my coaches and my teachers. I became a teacher because of Coach Mike Estes, my baseball coach in high school. Mike was a math teacher. I wanted to be like Mike, but I wanted to be a coach like Coach Reeves and Coach Payne and Coach Serafini. I can just name all my coaches. So it's just really all of them had such an influence on my life. I liked what they were doing. I saw the enjoyment of coaching, and then I saw the disappointment when we got beat. But I just noticed that their lives were full. They were helping people, and I guess you asked me the question about. I guess that's a part of me too. I really like helping people. I really do, and I don't mean to boast on saying that, but I really do like to see a player get something out of football besides just winning the game, or come back and say, "Coach, you made me tough," because that's what my coaches did for me.
Absolutely. And nowadays, to me, it's not fair. Coaches are judged so much off win and losses. If he loses 2 or 3 games, they want to fire him. What is something you would tell a coach who's taking his first job, something that you found out over your coaching career, some words of wisdom, so to speak, for a guy who's coming in to take his first job somewhere?
Well, my son's doing that. He's not being a head coach, but he's starting to coach. Well, he's helped us. But, a head coach especially, I told you, I let my coaches coach. Don't try to do it all yourself. Now, I'll paint the field and I'll mow the grass. I do a lot of that, but surround yourself with good people. You get a good coach, let him know he's a good coach and try to keep him around. I've been so fortunate with that. I've had really 2 different staff. The older guy, we lost Coach Patrick Ball, but his son Jake's quarterback. Now my son-in-law, now my assistant coach, talking about loyalty. And then the other 2 assistant coaches I got are both former, they were on the state championship teams, Coach Morgan and Coach Sexton, and Coach Noah's been through 24 years of being head coach. But tell a young coach, be yourself. Pick up ideas all the time and never quit learning. And I still, I listen to Coach Saban, Coach Malzahn a lot on their interviews. I just want to hear what they say. Coach Saban says things you think, that don't sound complicated, but it's simple, but it makes a lot of sense to me. And I'll share them with players. I say, Coach Saban said yesterday. I try to remember it and tell them, but just a young coach needs to be himself, know there's going to be highs and lows, and really, really hope you got a good boss that'll be patient with you, because, every time somebody wins, you guys remember this, somebody's losing.
That's right.
There's no in between. So I do feel bad sometimes when I win a game. I look at that other sideline. I went to the race this weekend. Benedetto, I don't know if y'all NASCAR, can I say this? But he got fired this week. He's going to finish the season out. He's leading the race with 10 laps to go, and he got passed and lost. He finished second. And I teared up about it. The guy's lost his job. He interviewed him after the race. He's crying because he almost won the race. So, they're going to be highs and lows. Somebody had to lose. But I've been so fortunate, my staff, though. But young coaches, just be patient and enjoy every minute of it, because it'll fly by.
What motivates you at this point in your career most?
That's a good question. Now my son's on staff. I guess I want to win and keep him a job. I don't know. I'm semi-retired. I retired. I'm on contract now. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm not doing it for the wins. I just like being around the guys. I really do.
Love it.
I do. I like the players. I like seeing them come in with a problem and help them. I've had a couple this week. I had to help them with the situation, but kind of helping them through it. But I feel like I'm doing something to help somebody, I guess. And I guess that's a boastful way of saying it, but I really do think I'm making a difference. When I think the players don't want to play for me and they're not going to listen to me, then I need to retire. And right now, I think they still listen to me. I think they still believe in what I tell them. It's kind of like your wife. When your wife quits believing in you, you might ought to leave big guys. But anyway, that's probably it. Just knowing the players, I'm helping the players.
Now, you've coached tons of special players over the years here at Hokes Bluff. I can't name them all. What defines a good football player in your eyes?
One that helps his other teammates become better players. And I'll use Darian, player I got now that's a super player. And then Ashton Gullidge is another good player. But Darian is so talented with his ability that players around him play better because they know what he's doing and how he respects the game and what he does. Jake Ball was the same way, the assistant coach now, quarterback on state championship. Jake had a way of making the players around him better. They believed in him. They wanted to play good. Michael Jordan was a little bit of a hero to me. I wasn't a Chicago Bulls fan, but Jordan started a game out. He wanted his teammates to get involved, and I respected that so much. He made people around him better. Absolutely. I think great players are that way. Now you'll have some great stat players, but they don't win. The really good players helps the team win by encouraging his teammates or making them step to a high level. You
just answered my next question. All right, Coach, I got two more questions for you right here. Right. When the news broke they were going to name the field after you, I want to know what went through your head to realize that the city of Hokes Bluff and the people out here recognize your hard work and dedication to the city of Hokes Bluff. What did that mean to have your name up?
Well, I was a little embarrassed to really tell you the truth. In that I wish they kind of waited till I retired. Put a lot of pressure on you. Next game you come out here because you went on your own field. And I feel, but no, I respect the people. Charles Morgan, 89-year-old man that started the Booster Club. It's Coach Morgan's granddad, who's done everything on this community that you can do. But but when Mr. Morgan came and asked me, I could obviously it was just a thrill for him to ask me because he is the dean of Hokes Bluff football in a way because he started the Booster Club in 1951 here. Man. He still come there and hangs some signs. Awesome. He's 89 years old, so that was just a pleasure there. But I was pretty emotional about it just because I've done a lot. But sometimes when you name things after people, it's like I did it all myself, and I just want people to know that name represents a bunch of people. That's from my parents to everybody I've named here in this interview, all the players. I mean, that's not me up there. That's my players, and I hope I got that point across when I got it named after me because I wanted people to know that's how I really truly feel because, I'm just one guy. I tell the players all the time, you don't play for me. Yeah. You play for the school. You play for Hokes Bluff. I don't have Coach Rob on your jersey. I know it's on the stadium now, but they really do. And I saw an incident in the Braves game. Can I mention this? Yes. Coach Siniker. I love the Braves. He benched one of his best players yesterday. He said the name on the front is a lot more important than the name on the back, and he don't understand that. And so Coach Siniker is right. And so the name on the stadium is not as important as the people that made that name go up there. Man, that's what I'd say about that.
Beautiful statement. Yeah. I love it. Now I'm gonna ask you one more question. And I'm gonna turn the mic over and let you talk about something. When you finally do say call it quits and you say I'm gonna step away from the game, what do you think would be the next adventure in your life? What's gonna keep that fire burning?
I don't mean to be any kind of negative here. My wife says death. I'm probably gonna die. Phyllis says that, but I don't know. A lot of it's gonna be my health. I mentioned I'll quit coaching when I think the players don't listen to me anymore. My health, I'm 60 years old, so you're not giving any.
You're a youngster, Coach.
I'm a youngster. Well, I tell the player I'm 29, but I can tell I'm 60 out here in this heat. But I don't know. I like to fish. I used to like to fish and hunt a little bit. And used to play golf. I'm terrible being a baseball player. You'd think I could hit a golf ball. I can't. I don't know. I like to stay around a little bit. I thought about selling sporting goods, but I can't sell anything. I can't. I know better than that. I don't know. I'll probably hopefully just be able to go to some games, stay healthy, and watch my grandkids grow up.
There you go. I don't have any more questions, Coach, but the last thing I want to do here, I want to give you the floor and give you a second. I want you to tell the fans, the players, your former players, the coaches that's coached with you in the town of Hokes Bluff, what it's meant like to have your family grow up here and have a career like you do here and just love what you're doing day to day.
Ready now?
Yes, sir.
You mean to thank them?
Hey, whatever you think.
I just want to say I appreciate the opportunities I've had at Hokes Bluff. We moved here in 1971, and I was just a little skinny 7th grader, and they made me a quarterback and a point guard and a second baseman, shortstop. So the rest was kind of history. But I was lucky enough to come back pretty quick in my coaching career. After 3 years at Southside, So I kind of feel like I've been a part for that many years. So, you know, you got players, parents, grandparents, family member. I got a lot of family members out here, but most important is just the players that I've coached. From girl basketball, I did that 23 years. I'm very proud of that accomplishment. But all those things combined, I've been the most lucky, one of the luckiest guys. I know Lou Gehrig said it, but I feel very lucky that what I've accomplished. I've had people tell me you're pretty lucky on things. I guess I am. Sometimes you make your luck. Sometimes you're lucky because of other people. So all those things considered, I'm just very fortunate. I want to just say thanks to everybody that's touched my life, and hopefully I've helped a few people along the way. But thank you very much.